If you clicked on this video, then chances are you know someone who is going through anxiety and you want to know how you can help them. The thing about anxiety disorders is that they can be very difficult to understand, especially considering there are over 200 different symptoms of anxiety. So to help you understand anxiety just a little bit more, I've put together this list of questions and answers that people with anxiety get asked quite often. If you have a loved one who is living with anxiety right now and you're battling to understand what they're going through and what they need, then this is the list for you. And if you're the one living with anxiety, then you probably already know how difficult it is to talk to people about what you're going through. Not everyone will understand what you're going through, and this can come across in the form of criticism, dismissive comments, and even really weird questions. But don't let this stop you from talking about your anxiety and what you need. The support that you get from friends, family, and even your doctor plays a huge part in your recovery process. Remember that very few people talk about their anxiety, so those who don't live with it have no idea what you're going through. Talking about your anxiety, depression, or other mental illness will help them understand what you're going through, as well as what other people around them might be going through. I found that opening up this conversation helps give other people the courage to open up too. And when they can talk about it, they can feel comfortable getting the help that they need. So to help get this conversation going, I've compiled a list of frequently asked questions along with their answers. And you can use this to answer any questions that come your way that you find difficult to answer. I've also put these into an article along with the resources that I used to answer the questions. And you'll find a link to that in the description below. And if there are any questions that I missed, or if you want me to cover anything else, please let me know in the comments below and I'll answer that in the next video. So how do you even begin having this conversation? Well, for one, when you tell your family or even your friends about the anxiety that you're going through, you can expect a lot of very different responses, including some pushback. But I want you to remember to stay calm. This type of response is totally normal. It always takes people a little bit of time to adjust to any new idea. Try to be patient with them and go slow. Let them ask the questions that they want to ask and answer them as simply as possible. Remember, they have no idea what you're going through. So it's your job now to teach them and guide them through everything. So here are the frequently asked questions that I promised you. What is an anxiety disorder? So while a little bit of anxiety just before an exam or an interview is totally normal, anxiety becomes a disorder when it never fades away. Imagine feeling like you're walking into an exam room every single day of your life. This is what someone with an anxiety disorder feels like all the time. And it's not imaginary either. Anxiety disorders are very real. And they often change the way you think, your hormone levels, and they even change your perceptions of the world around you. This is why people with an anxiety disorder can't simply snap out of it. So while there are 200 different symptoms of anxiety, there are also different types of anxiety. So while one person might be suffering from social anxiety, another might have OCD. And the treatment for each is very different. And this is why there isn't any one-size-fits-all remedy for anxiety. Some of the more common and recognizable anxiety disorders include things like generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, agoraphobia disorder, social anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, PTSD, major depressive disorder, and persistent depressive disorder, among many others. Are anxiety disorders even a real thing? Yes, it absolutely is a real thing. The term anxiety disorder refers to specific psychiatric disorders that involve extreme and persistent fear or worry. And this fear and worry takes a huge toll on a person's mind and body. So, what are the symptoms of anxiety? There are hundreds of possible symptoms of anxiety, and it all depends on the type of anxiety disorder that you suffer from. But the most common symptoms that people with anxiety tend to experience are things like feeling nervous, restless, or tense, having a sense of impending danger or doom, having an increased heart rate, breathing rapidly, sweating, trembling, feeling weak or tired, trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than the present worry, having trouble sleeping, gastrointestinal problems, having difficulty controlling worry, and having the urge to avoid things that trigger that anxiety. So essentially everything that you would go through on a very, very stressful day, except people with anxiety go through this on an everyday basis. Why is it so important to talk about anxiety? So people who don't live with any form of anxiety might not understand why you want to talk about it and why it's so important to you that they understand what you're going through. I would suggest that you take some time and try to explain this to them, because having a support system that understands what you're going through on a daily basis will really help in your recovery. When your loved ones and friends can understand what you're going through, then they can be more compassionate and understanding about the symptoms of your anxiety, and they can even help you when you're having a panic attack. So what causes anxiety? Well, this is the thing. Anxiety can be caused by so many different things. And that includes things like genetic conditions, personality traits, medication that you might be on, underlying health conditions, brain chemistry, and life events. Knowing where your anxiety comes from can help you learn to live with it, but this is only the first step. So can children suffer from anxiety? Yes. Children can suffer from anxiety too. In fact, in the US, 25% of children between the ages of 13 and 18 suffer from some form of anxiety. So don't be too quick to dismiss the symptoms of anxiety in a child just because you think they're too young. Is stress and anxiety the same thing? Stress and anxiety are actually not the same thing at all. The main difference is that stress eventually passes while anxiety stays. For people with anxiety, that feeling of stress and tension just never goes away. And this tends to take a severe toll on their emotional state, their mind, and their body. How do you fix an anxiety disorder? The thing about anxiety is it's not easy to just simply fix. Unfortunately, you can't just pop a pill and make it all go away forever. I wish it worked like this, but it just doesn't. Learning how to manage your anxiety so that it doesn't get in the way of your life anymore takes serious effort. And you'll probably need massive lifestyle changes, medication, therapy, and the support of your family and friends before you even start to feel normal. So that's the list, and you can use this list to help you open up the conversation with your family and friends and educate them about what anxiety is, what it feels like, and how they can help you. Remember, you can find a link to the article with all of these questions and answers, as well as the resources that I use to answer these questions, in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up so that I know you enjoyed it and I can bring you more content just like this. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, because I'll be bringing you videos every week on how to take better care of your mental health and how to manage your anxiety.